Does the federal government have lawful authority to make any restrictions on our guns and ammunition?
No.
Most people assume that they do, since that's what the federal government has been doing. But they don't have lawful authority. I'll show you. Let's look first at when the federal government started restricting firearms. It was in 1927 when Congress banned the mailing of certain weapons. We went from 1776 to 1927, 150 years after our founding, when Congress decided we better start disarming the American people. Remember, the progressives had taken over the federal government by this time. In 1934, the federal government started regulating gangster weapons. In 1938, Congress told gun dealers they had to get a federal firearms license and maintain records of the names and addresses of persons who bought firearms. Restrictions on gun ownership have increased, and we now have a president and powerful political forces who want to disarm us entirely. So what are we going to do about it? Are we going to beg for crumbs and ask them to please let us keep some of our weapons if we get a license and pass their background check? Some of you may have seen the letter from the Utah Sheriff's Association. It is shameful because it begs Obama to let Congress decide what regulations to impose, and don't do it by executive order, please, Mr. President. But we must make a principled resistance. To do that, we must learn the applicable principle. So let's see what our Constitution says about whether the federal government has lawful authority to impose gun control. Now here is an interesting but little known fact about our Constitution. It is one of enumerated powers only. When we, the people, ordained and established the Constitution, we created the federal government. It is our creature. We are the creator. It is the creature. It is not our master.
That's right.
We listed, itemized, enumerated every single power we delegated to the federal government. That's why the Constitution is so short. Depending upon how you count, we delegated only 21 powers to the federal government. The powers we delegated to Congress over the country at large are listed primarily at Article 1, Section 8, Clauses 1 through 16. So where in the Constitution did we, the people, delegate to our creature authority to restrict? Nowhere. We never gave the federal government that authority. It becomes so simple, easy, and clear when you just look to the Constitution. So, all laws made by Congress, all rules of the Bureau of Alcohol, Firearms, and Tobacco, any and all executive orders which